WGL APAC Season 1, Week number 2. I am Jordan Mays. Joining me is Alex Blakey.
Yes, great to be here, of course, Jordan. And we've got one more top-tier tanking battle in store for all of our viewers coming up very soon. But first off, let's just take a bit of a look back at our last match, which was unfortunately forfeit from the guys over at Team Epic Gear Profit. So Horsemen did end up taking that one out.
Yeah, they did. I mean, we saw the first 2 rounds, I suppose, coming out there. Horsemen picked them both up, but in the end, obviously, the connection issues coming out for Epic Gear Profit were just too much to handle, and they've been forced to forfeit. So basically how that works is, according to our scoreboard, or our standings, I suppose, that's going to be considered a 5-0 victory in the favour of the Horsemen.
There we go. So, the Horsemen, they at least, they've got some points on the board, and that's going to, knock them up a little bit higher in our standings later. Unfortunately for Team Epic Gear Profit, they were already looking a little bit low after that. So it really, really wasn't the best for them to have to, unfortunately, forfeit that one. But look, sometimes, I mean, we know it here, being Australians, of course, as well. We know the perils of having bad internet sometimes, and connection issues and all of that. So I can totally relate. And sometimes the internet's just not working in your favour over here. So.
That's why we like LAN competitions.
Yep.
Have them all in the same venue. No problems.
Yep.
No worries at all.
Good old LANs.
I guess unless the internet to the venue goes down, you can't stream it, but it's a different ball game, I suppose.
That is a different ball game. I tell you what, a LAN World of Tanks client, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
We could actually, have like a zero ping LAN connection, and
be great.
That'd be amazing.
The dream.
Because obviously, for those that don't know, World of Tanks is a fully server-side game. So what that means is that any time you essentially press a button on your end and you see a tank move, that's actually the only thing that gets sent to the server is the buttons that you're pressing. It works out everything else based on that. So you press WASD, that's all you tell the server, and then the server goes, okay, so that means this tank should move forward a little bit, it should shoot its gun, or it should flip over a hill in Himmelsdorf, and Mudam should make a fool of himself.
As we've seen so many times so far. Only 2 weeks in, and we've seen like 3 or 4 tanks flipping over, so can't complain.
Can't complain, exactly. So but I think while we're just getting our next match set up, I think, Jordan, we can actually direct some of our viewers to head over to one of our favourite portals that we've been having a lot of fun with recently. It is our fantasy portal for the Wargaming.net League Asia Pacific. We've also got fantasy portals up for Europe and North America and the CIS regions as well. But for anyone that would like to check out the fantasy page, just head on over to fantasy.eslgaming.com/WOT. And what you can do there, of course, is create your own World of Tanks team based off all of the statistics that we gather from the players here in the APAC region, all of that good stuff, and effectively build your dream team. I'm sure some of our Australian viewers might know it. The Dream Team AFL competition equivalent. This is sort of like the Dream Team for World of Tanks.
Yeah,
so
I'd be stacking EL Gaming, guys.
Well, yeah, that's
you might not be able to afford all of them at once, but try and get as many on as you can.
No, they're not cheap, those EL Gaming guys. But I think, we'll wait and see. Maybe throw in a few Horsemen in there as well. Yeah. Dark Wolves, a couple of Dark Wolves guys. I think that's what my current team is going to be looking like at the end of this weekend.
Alrighty, well, speaking of teams, let's have a look and see which of our teams are going to be coming up in our next matchup. It is going to be Caren Tiger up against Gold Bass, and this is the Caren Tiger lineup.
There we go. So, Caren Tiger, position 6 on our standings. Polly, of course, their captain, and based in Japan as well. One of our 2 Japanese-based teams, both them and B Gaming. But they've been looking pretty strong to starting off this season.
Not too bad at all. I mean, they've gone 1-1, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know about what happened in the past couple of days, I guess, in specific to this team. But, they haven't looked particularly bad. They haven't looked particularly great. But going up against Gold Bass here, it's hard to predict anything apart from a Caren Tiger victory in this one, because Gold Bass haven't been having the greatest of starts to their season so far.
Oh, this is going to be so tricky for Gold Bass because obviously, like they're 0-3.
Yeah.
Right, 0-3, and their last game they played, I think it was last week. They played against EL Gaming. They played against
Dark Wolves. I'm pretty
Dark
sure.
Wolves rings a bell, and just taking a look at it here, I think we've, yeah, exactly. The Dark Wolves match did not go well for them.
No.
So
it was a 5-0 against EL Gaming and then a 5-1 after that as well. So they didn't have a great time. Let's have a look and see who's on that lineup because, well, we'll see if they can turn things around for themselves tonight. Obviously, they came from last season coming into this one. We expected they would look quite good, but...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these guys was one of the top teams in Korea, but currently they're sitting 12th position on the ladder, which is not where you want to be sitting at all, unfortunately. So, but Poldholic is their captain. Darjeeling can actually make some pretty big plays when he wants to. But they've definitely got a pretty big roster. I think they've got Red Bull, iPad, some of the funnier team member names that we've got. Probably infringing a little bit of copyright there.
I don't think it matters.
No, exactly.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
They'll be fine, but...
you are too, to be fair. Go Gadget. Is that not
part
of
it? Shh. Don't tell anyone. But anyways,
pot calling a kettle black.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Elfish guy. Your name isn't cool enough to infringe on any copyright.
Hey. I
Mine's
made it when I was like 12, so just got to run with it.
There you go. Okay.
That's why I say I'm Jordan Mays.
Yeah, I'm glad we call each other Jordan and Alex.
Yeah.
So, there you go. But I think moving a little bit on to this actual match, Caren Tiger. I mean, they trying to spin it from a positive side for Gold Bass. Gold Bass haven't actually played Caren Tiger before. Obviously, it's a team that they probably haven't played at all. Probably haven't played much at all previously either.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that doesn't necessarily give an advantage to Gold Bass.
No, I mean, it's hard to find really anything good about the statistics either for Gold Bass at the moment. They've won like 9% of their rounds throughout this competition so far, at least going off week 1, not including the ones up to date from the last couple of days.
Their steps attack side.
That was the only one.
The only one.
Won one round, which is 9% of their rounds.
So, I mean, who knows? Maybe if we start out on steps, and they start out on the attack. If they get what they want, if they get off to a nice, good early start, then maybe that could help give them enough of a confidence boost. Maybe take enough pressure off, so that they can carry it through. But it's hard.
Yeah, it is going to be hard. I mean, Caren Tiger, on the other hand, in terms of their attack defense weighting, I suppose they're pretty even actually. 57% on their attack and defense, so they've won 57 attack percent and 57 on their defense as well. So
very balanced team.
Balanced team, as opposed to someone like Horseman who had like 80% attack and like 20% on their defense. So a well-rounded team, I suppose, coming out here for Caren Tigers.
Yeah, definitely. So I think look, right now, I mean, Caren Tiger's probably my pick for this one. It's hard to not pick Caren Tiger, but I really feel like it's about time that we see Gold Bass do a little bit better. So 5-2 to Caren Tiger.
Yeah, look, I think, well, fingers crossed that Gold Bass are going to be able to pull this one off, or at least get a bit closer this time. So let's have a look. Looks like we're going to be getting close, we are getting close, rather, to getting into game. I'm going to take a look at our tank picks for the first one, and our first map does look like it's going to be Himmelsdorf Gold Bass with 3 E100s.
3 E100s. You see, I do like that. I love me some E100s, and seeing Gold Bass pick it does fill me with just a little bit of hope. And I think Caren Tiger there with those 3 FE215Bs, look, they're going to be able to combat it fairly effectively, but the 2 Bat Chats on the Caren Tiger side, that to me is just a little bit confusing as well, particularly if they're on the defensive side. Although looking at the lineups, to be honest, it's probably going to be Gold Bass on the defense.
Yeah, look, not anything too out there. I mean, the 2 Bat Chats, as you mentioned, for Caren Tiger is sort of not something we see too often. The IS-4 as well. Typically, if you're going to see an IS, it's generally speaking going to be the IS-7, but they've opted to go for the IS-4 there. So Anyway, first map, Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, Himmelsdorf, look, it's obviously our close quarters city map that is fairly balanced, slightly higher favour to the attacking side according to our current stats, Jordan.
Yep.
But we've seen some interesting strategies coming out on Himmelsdorf today. We've seen a hill push. We've seen that super fast rush from the horsemen as well. So really, we could be seeing anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I suppose, have a look at both teams on Himmelsdorf specifically. Goldbass played it once last week, so they played attack and defense, lost both times on attack and defense. I'm pretty sure that was against EL.
Yep.
And then on the side of Caren Tiger, they've played it twice, so they've played it attack and defense twice each. They've only managed to actually pick up one round on it as well, so it doesn't seem like it's a great map there for Caren Tigers. They've only got that 25% win rate on their rounds for Himmelsdorf as well, so it should be interesting to see. Both teams maybe not quite as comfortable on Himmelsdorf as they could be. Yeah,
well, they'll definitely be looking to boost those stats there for the win rate on Himmelsdorf. But I do actually quite like the IS4 pick there. If we think about the IS4, it's still got pretty good armor. It's got about 2200 damage per minute. It's got that big 122mm cannon on it as well. So good for trading. But here we go, loading into Himmelsdorf right now.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be our first map, and well, if I had to call this one, I think it probably is going to go the way of Caren Tiger.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
Well,
what's your score?
I mean, I would be leaning towards a 2-0 or a 1-1 for Caren Tiger. Like, right. I don't see Goldbass picking this one up 2-0.
I reckon it's Himmelsdorf. Anyone can win Himmelsdorf 1-1. So we'll have to wait and see. But Goldbass right now, they're going to be rolling out. It is going to be looking to be a standard banana line push, I'm guessing. They've got one medium up the hill. That's probably going to be their bat chat. It's always good to stick an autoloader up the hill just so you can catch out anyone, potentially even Opalisk in that AMX 1390 up there as well. So. Oh no! Oh. He's meant to catch out the tanks, not get caught out himself.
Is he going to take another shot here? Not quite.
Just missed.
Just gets around the corner there.
Look
but
how
still.
Close that shot was to the wall as well. Yeah. Excellent shooting in that FV215B. Got a very accurate gun on that one.
Certainly does. Well, let's move our minds to other matters as we can see the E100. I guess the
train.
Yeah.
Pushing on towards the banana, or past the banana line even, down that 8 line, and they are going to be heading towards the 2 flag cap right here. Hypo's getting himself onto it, so I already like this. Goldbass, they're being nice and aggressive early on. They're going to be getting themselves on towards that 2 flag quite early, and they're kind of trying to control the flow of the game a little bit more than we've seen them do previously.
Yeah, they certainly are trying to do that, and the good thing for this one, at least for Goldbass, is they haven't really got anyone to speak of coming around on the flank. I suppose you can say Opalisk down there in the sort of the middle of the map is there, but he's the 1390.
Yeah.
Not going to be not going to be being too much of a threat for these E100s. And then you can see those 2 guys up on the hill as well. They are going to be a little bit of an issue, but still not going to be there within the next 10 seconds or so. So at the moment, Goldbass are looking okay. There's 25 seconds left on the clock here. They should get reset perhaps by Yupa coming around from that D line. And now this is becoming sort of a threat now for the Caren Tigers. They are starting to be flanked. And Goldbass need to make their move. They're going to try and move forward. The IS4, AKWV, taking a bit of damage, but he's going to be okay for the moment. The Bat Chat, Hypo, is going to be going down there for Goldbass. Actually, it was the 1390 being taken down by the Bat Chat, but at the moment, Goldbass, they're sort of falling into the same trap that we saw Epic Gear Profit in the previous matchup. They're just charging straight onto that 2-cap.
on fire.
It is. It certainly is, and it's going to be going down. Jen Xingbang is to be taken down there by the Caren Tigers, and you can see that Goldbass really just starting to fall apart here. They're taking so much damage. I mean, they're still alive because they're E100s, but eventually they're going to run out of HP, and this is going to go the way of the Caren Tiger, you would expect.
You would expect, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think Hina might have just taken a friendly fire shot from one of the friendly E100s. We'll have to wait and see for that one, but right now it is not looking good at all for Goldbass. Only 2 tanks left. They've only managed to take out Polly so far.
Zack is not going to be too keen on that one. Takes 1,200 HP of damage. It's not going to matter too much though. Hina really doesn't have much more of a say in this battle. The 1390 now taking a bit of a duel with the E100, but in the end, the E100 will go down there. So Caren Tiger pick up the victory on their defensive side of Himmelsdorf.
Very smooth sailing victory for Caren Tiger, I think. And I mean, the Gold Bass there, look, they pushed in early. I liked what they did early on and in getting the pressure on towards the 2-flag cap, but really that brawl just did not work out for them at all. They had the FV215B coming up from behind them. That was a big issue. Yep. Right, they pushed out, and I'm pretty sure they got one shot on friendly fire off. That was a big issue as well. 770 damage that could be dealt to the enemy team, being dealt to your team. It just didn't fall into place for.
Yeah, I mean, something that I guess is a difference between some teams we see on their Himmelsdorf attack is when they head towards that 2 cap, often some teams will just have all of their tanks up towards the cap. But I think the teams that are probably a little bit more aware of what's going on are going to have one of those players down in that sort of that hull down position at the bottom of the alleyway there, just to hold off those rotators and those guys coming from behind. And that's something that we saw Epic Gear Profit have issues with. They didn't have someone down there holding off the rotates. Again, we've seen Gold Bass with the exact same issue, not getting that guy down in there and holding off the rotate. So both times the cap being reset from the bottom of that alley, and well, that's something to work on, I suppose.
Yeah, so here we go. We can see this was Hina coming up, and let's wait and see. Was it? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so Kumi might have got a bit of a friendly fire shot off from the FV215B, but you know, overall, like this, they got them low. They got the 2 Caren Tiger members low, but the focus fire was just all on Caren Tiger's side. They just managed to stay alive.
Yeah, it was great stuff from Caren Tiger, and heading on to their attacking side now, they are putting themselves in a good spot here to be able to 2-0 this. They obviously are a reasonable attacking side. It's an attacking weighted map in some aspects. I would expect now that we would probably see CT picking this one up. I mean, if they were going to lose a round on Himmelsdorf, it was going to be the one they were defending on, and now that they've been able to negotiate that one safely, they should be okay.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But taking a look, I'll be interested to see how much of an impact those E100s had, because we had 3 E100s, and like, I like the E100s, but I feel as though, like, rather than committing to the full all-out brawl, it's much better just to play a little bit safer and just go for the peaks, because that's what the E100s are great at. Just peek around a corner, 750 damage, peek back behind the corner, you win the trade. But there we go. We can see the first E100 was 7th place, and those FV215Bs just doing work, of course. Those big 120mm guns, and 0 damage.
0 damage on one of your tier 10 tanks.
Ugh.
Less than ideal, and it's not like Larissa just got completely popped straight away.
No.
So there's not really an excuse here, I don't think, for Gold Bass to have one of your tier 10s not doing any damage.
Not good at all. I mean, Larissa could have just loaded high explosive and just shot it at something to deal some damage, but unfortunately not to be, I guess. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how they play out this next one, and whether they go for as many E100s. Don't think they will.
Yeah, it's a good question. Looks like we are moments away from heading into this one. Let's have a look and see what the tank lineups are going to be here on our second half of Himmelsdorf.
Okay, so over on the Gold Bass side, they will not be going with 3 E100s, just the one this time. 3 FV215Bs, can't go wrong with that. And they've got a bat chat and a 1390 in there as well for good measure. Caren Tiger again going to be going with that IS4 Russian tier 10 heavy. And yeah, overall just pretty standard lineup. Caren Tiger going with 2 bat chats on the attack this time. So we don't always see those 2 bat chats there, and that leaves him with a bit of a lighter lineup. So we'll have to be a little bit more careful in these brawls if we do have them. But apart from that, pretty standard.
Yeah, reasonably standard. I would suspect we're going to see probably a 2 cap push from the guys on Caren Tiger. Seems like no one's really interested in heading towards the railway cap.
Yeah, we have not seen that much at all, and I'm a little bit surprised. I'm trying to think of you know, why we haven't seen that. Obviously, it was quite a dominant you know, way to push a while ago, but you know, yeah, normally the way you push the railway, of course, is just by getting one tank into the little kind of behind the building
Yeah,
on the rail yard flag, on the cap, and just putting the pressure on that way very hard. And generally, a tank will have to push either right up or around the side to get a shot off onto something, particularly a small tank like an AMX 1390 there. But yeah, we haven't really seen it at all.
Suppose that's perhaps something that some teams can maybe have a look at here on Himmelsdorf. Might be something we'll see develop as the meta changes throughout the season. Obviously, we're only into week 2, and there's plenty of weeks to go, so some of these things could change up. But for the moment, it is going to be Goldbass and Caren Tiger fighting it out on Himmelsdorf, and this time Goldbass on the defensive side.
There we go. So, early on, let's take a look at where Caren Tiger are rolling out to. We can see that most of their heavies are going to be heading down south, potentially towards the rail yard, whereas we've actually got Goldbass heading towards the banana line very early on, and this is not something that we see super often. Mudam, though, will be ready to take shots, or at least spots, on some of these guys from Goldbass.
Yeah, certainly interesting setups coming out here from Caren Tiger. Quite, I mean, a few of them are a little bit aggressive. A few of them are pretty far back and defensive. So, I mean, yeah. But on the side of Goldbass, I know, look, they're playing quite aggressively as well. So,
yeah, interesting
stuff.
To see what Goldbass are doing here. They've got their 2 bat chats up on the hill. I like that in general. But Caren Tiger, they've got their 2 bat chats up on the hill. But overall, as Hypo's just taken a lot of damage, I think that is going to be coming from those... Oh, wow, those heavies all the way down the back there.
What?
Oh, all the way down that 5 line, just sniping Hypo out.
Wrecked. I don't really understand why he stayed there. Like, he had plenty of time to actually get out of there alive. But decides to stay and, I don't know, just take a couple more shots. So,
free kill.
A little bit questionable there for me.
Indeed, and Madame, there is going to be getting the reload happening. I wonder if we'll see any more physics antics coming out with Madame's bat chat again here on Himmelsdorf. Hopefully not for Caren Tiger's sake.
I'd love to see it.
It would be very fun to see again. But Jing Sheng being here, I like the idea of putting a bat chat right up on towards the hill. Very mobile tank. So even if the guys from Caren Tiger do decide to make a 1 flag push for the rail yard, then which actually looks like might be happening potentially.
Yeah, it seems like at least Opal is trying to get some spots in towards the rail yard. Hasn't been spotted out yet, I don't think. Polterholic in the FV215B probably not able to see that far, and obviously I don't think the line of sight is there either. Opal is just playing a little bit safely now, has decided to slow down, but once these guys from Caren Tiger start to make their way up the 1 cap, we'll see what Opalis decides to do. I dare say Opalis will be the one to hide behind that little hut on the cap circle.
Yep, should be. I think so. Opalis getting himself on towards that cap circle soon, and Poltholic doing a nice job, or trying to do a nice job of side scraping there, but those gas tanks not providing the best of cover.
No, certainly not. I mean, he did take 1 shot, got tracked as well, so... I mean, not having the worst of times, I suppose.
Doesn't have a repair kit now.
What is that FV15B shooting HE at him?
It was interesting, actually, or might have been. Yeah.
What else would it be, really, to do 56 damage?
Yeah.
Strange.
Very strange, but so far we haven't actually seen those tanks from Caren Tiger push down from the hill, but here we go. The rotation is going to be coming in from Goldbass. They know that the 1 flag will be the focus, but so far the guys from Caren Tiger haven't actually pushed up on towards it, so it's given Goldbass enough time to rotate.
Yeah, it certainly has. Having said that, though, Caren Tiger don't seem to be entirely committed towards this 1 cap. They've got Polly over there, but really the rest of the lineup, at least these guys in towards the middle of the map, do seem like they're making their way over towards the banana more so than towards that 1 cap. And they might just head over to the 2 cap at the end, so kind of just playing around a little bit, trying to poke in towards that 1 cap, see if they can find anything there, but I think they're just going to default back to that 2 cap.
Yeah, it's looking like it right now. So Polly just has to be a little bit careful, just trying to trade with Poltholic. I think that was another ricochet there from Polly.
Did a bit of damage to some sort of a module. Just done it again.
Another little ricochet, but Yeah, not looking too good. Might be tracking Poltholic as well. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think that's the track. Hasn't been able to do any damage of yet though, so I think that's really what we'd be perhaps more interested in.
Yes, I think damage would be the name of the game here. And Akio didn't quite get a shot off on towards that bat chat as he crossed the field. So that was a bit of a missed opportunity there for Caren Tiger. Could have really dealt some heavy damage, but the reason that bat chat was actually retreating, Jordan, is because we've got these two mediums, these two bat chats from Caren Tiger pushing down the hill right now. They're going for the 2-cap.
Yeah, you're certainly right. Trying to make their way into that 2-cap, and you can see at the moment, really the heavies just hanging around in the courtyard there, interestingly enough. It's more the mediums and the lights trying to make the play onto the 2-cap. So, not sure yet what the strategy exactly is here for Caren Tiger, but will reveal itself eventually.
I think Caren Tiger, they should just be putting a good amount of pressure on right here. The issue for them at the moment is they've got their heavy tanks quite spread out. Yupo's not ready for a 2-flag brawl. Neither is Polly, Akio and Haiwami as well. So essentially these lighter tanks are probably just going to retreat right here.
Well, I'd certainly suspect they wouldn't want to be sitting around, and this might actually be a bait to try and get Caren Tiger in a good position to push onto that 1-cap. Doesn't seem like they're taking advantage of it. They've drawn over a few players of Gold Bass to the 2-cap, but as of yet haven't really made any movements towards anything at the moment. Mudam is going to take a bit of damage, but he's dealing a bit of damage over to Hina as well. Is he going to be able to get the final shot off? Oh, 37 HP left on Hina, and the reload has to come out here from Mudam, but still a worthwhile trade there for Caren Tiger.
Yeah, very worth right there as Mudam just going to be retreating, and Caren Tiger getting a bit of a reload happening and regroup potentially. The question now for them is, do they go for the 1-flag? Do they try and push right on towards that 2-flag where they know there's a few damaged tanks around the place? And it's looking like Opalisk getting himself on towards that 1-flag. Oh, then changing.
Yeah, really, really interesting stuff coming out here from Caren Tiger. They've been over to the 1-cap. They went sort of more back towards the 2-cap and now hanging around towards the 1-cap once again. Opalisk has gone straight onto that cap proper, and he's going to hide behind the hut, unsurprisingly. As you can see, the rest of the Caren Tiger members trying to push their way up towards the spawn area of the Gold Bass. Akido V leading the charge. Huami and Yupa just following him up. It is going to be Huami to find a kill onto Poltholic. There's only 4 players left alive here for Gold Bass, so troublesome times now. And the Caren Tiger very, very much poised to pick up the 2-0 here on Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for CT at the moment, but I mean, Gold Bass, they've still got a full HP E100. They've got the Bat Shat as well, and the IS-4 up, but I'm not too sure how long those guys are going to be going up for anyway, as we've got Jing Sheng Bang just gone down, and it's looking like the end of Gold Bass is in sight.
Certainly seems that way. Simona getting very low and is going to be taken down there by Shinazakit. Larissa down to 305 HP, Darjeeling the remainder for the Gold Bass. Not going to be able to do a whole lot on his own. Does manage to pick up 1 kill, but in the end it is going to be Caren Tiger rather, picking up the 2-0 there on Himmelsdorf. Gold Bass now down, having not won a single round. Not looking good for them. I mean, we've seen throughout the past week they haven't had the greatest of performances, and again starting off today on the wrong foot.
Yeah, not looking good at all, Jordan. And it's, if you're Gold Bass right now, you're 0-3 down in the league. You've just lost the entire first map of Himmelsdorf, which really, it's not a map that's kind of particularly. It's a map that all teams should be experienced enough to take a win on. And I feel as though it's a good sort of litmus test, if you will, for a team. And neither of those really look particularly like sort of close in terms of Gold Bass, like looking to be in it effectively. It always looked like Caren Tiger had control in both of those series.
Yeah, you're certainly right. And I mean, it is a map that we do see a lot. So both these teams should be well aware of how it plays out and that sort of thing. I mean, a map, for example, like Cliff, you could argue, well, maybe a team might not be so comfortable with it. We haven't seen it at all so far, really.
Exactly. Something like Cliff.
So I guess Himmelsdorf really is one that you have to be solid on. Let's go ahead and have a look and see how things turned out there for the Gold Bass. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much of an excuse when you're on Himmelsdorf to not be putting up a good fight.
There we go. So we can see this was Mudam's excellent play in that batch out 25T. Getting a lot of damage on towards Hina. Just one shot away from death right there. And this was another little bit of a fight that broke out here. And by this time, it was all over for Gold Pass.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do when you're down that many tanks. Caren Tiger, I don't think... Oh, no, they did lose one tank there. That's Darjeeling picking up Hilami, but... Really a pretty convincing result coming out from Caren Tiger. Interested to see what the next map is going to be between these two teams because, well, that first one didn't look too good at all there for the guys on Gold Bass, and I don't know if they're going to even be able to bring anything back in this one. I mean, it's hard to, it's really hard to predict that they will actually be able to come back into this one because they haven't shown it so far at all.
Exactly. I feel as though the issue is for Gold Bass is that they're like. The team that plays so far, from what we've seen, completely stock standard tank picks, standard play style, standard strategy, standard everything. And while it might have worked last season, obviously it did work last season. That's why they, that's why they did so well in Korea last season. It's just not working out this time. And if they've already, locked in some more standard tanks, etc., for the rest of their maps tonight, which I'm pretty sure they will have. Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to take a win. I feel because I just don't think that they're working as a team.
Yeah, it's not looking too great here for the Gold Bass at the moment. I think, let's say, for example, we get onto the maps of Ghost Town and Steps. Those two are really good maps for Caren Tiger. It's going to be tough there for Gold Bass, but we'll have to have a see what happens. Just getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, though. We'll have a look at the post-map stats here for Himmelsdorf, or the post-round stats even. Mudam, unsurprisingly, up the top there.
Yep, there we go. So Mudam up the top, Yupa next. But I want to give a shout out to Darjeeling. I like Darjeeling. Always see, even when Gold Bass aren't looking too good, it's always going to be Darjeeling who's kind of up the top and trying to make them work. But there we go. Hypo 0 damage. Hina in the FV215B 400 damage. That's one shot out of 7.
Yeah.
Out of 7 that's done any damage. So
not much better there for Poltolic either. It's only 2 shots. So the story not so great there for Gold Bass, and in reality that was kind of the map that they had to be able to win because on paper that's the map that's not quite as strong for Caren Tiger. The rest of their map pool, at least from what we've seen so far, is a little bit better than Himmelsdorf. So
yeah, Caren Tiger, very balanced team. So we'd be surprised to see them. Maybe if we see like a Ruinberg, of course, is quite a polarizing map. Some teams really prefer the attack. Some teams really, feel a lot more comfortable on the defense of Ruinberg. But unless we see that up next, then it's like I'm just trying to run through, like in my head, what map might work for Gold Bass, and I can't think of any.
Well, let's go ahead and find out what the map is going to be, and also what the tank lineups are going to be for said map. Looks like it's going to be Mines, which is a map we've seen Caren Tiger on. They won 1, lost 1, so...
Ooh, I like the T49 there by Gold Bass.
Me too.
Bit of an old school pick, but still definitely works, particularly when they're going up against 4 of those batch at 25Ts. 4 batch at 25Ts, and then 2 tier 10s, 2 tier 9 batch.
The AP and the not AP ones.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good way of thinking about it. Of course, the AP ones recently introduced to kind of coincide with the other auto loaders in the French light to medium line. So good to see them in there, and we've got what else? 113s, a couple of those on either side. Overall, pretty stock standard lineups on both sides, and wouldn't be surprised to see them do some hill rushes.
Well, I certainly suspect that Caren Tiger here would be looking for one. They've picked up those 4 really quick tanks, the Batchat lines. Not necessarily going towards the heavies, so they'd be looking to get hill control very quickly. On the other side, maybe the guys on Gold Bass probably won't necessarily be doing as much of a rush. They only had those 2 Batchats. So
yeah, potentially. I think it's going to be interesting to see, because Gold Bass, typically they are the team that's going to be staying fairly far back. They did at least try on that last Himmelsdorf map to kind of push up a little bit and really try and control the flow of the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Mines is a map where you are heavily rewarded for controlling the you know, the central hill. You get all of that vision, all of that map control, like we can see it here. You know, it's right in the middle, and it's a really good hill to take.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reasonably safe position to get spots out of, and it allows you, as you mentioned, to get such control across the map, and especially towards the eastern side of the map from that hill control. So it's a great spot to be in there for these teams. It is going to be Gold Bass on the defense, and they do seem to be charging relatively quickly forward towards that hill. The T49, at least, Hypo, he's going to slow down.
He's going to slow down pretty fast, and it's looking like neither of these teams actually going to be opting to get up on the hill early on, which is quite interesting. Gold Bass kind of testing the waters a little bit with their 113s.
Is Polly up on the hill? I think Polly might have boosted up.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly enough. Didn't quite catch it at the start of the round.
Yeah, it actually looks like it, maybe, but...
Seems like Gold Bass are trying to boost up as well.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Good boost.
Hina had a go, but didn't quite manage it. I like mines because we get to see lots of sort of interesting boosts coming out quite a bit.
Yep. And it's always fun to see the ones that don't quite work out. And
Poltolic and Polly are going to spot each other very shortly. They each get a shot across. Seems like Polly's firing just a little bit faster, so Poltolic, in theory, should be going down first if Polly doesn't manage to bounce a shot, which I think he might have.
Oh, got hurt by the fall as well, so Polly only on 300 HP. That's going to hurt.
Darjeeling making his way up onto the mine as well. Took 957 damage on the cross, so perhaps not the greatest of ideas, but Jin Shenbing is going to be able to bring one back there and does a bit of damage across to Opalisk. At the end of that little passage of play, both teams relatively even on HP. The issue, though, for Caren Tiger is that Polly has taken a lot of damage and could be very easily focus fired down here. So I would just say, even though the HP is pretty even, a little bit of an advantage in that one going to Gold Bass.
Yep, definitely, I think. And Gold Bass at the moment got to be pretty happy because they've got hill control now. So they've got that central point of the map. They're on the defense, so they've kind of shut down Caren Tiger's initial idea. Oh, is that 113 taking a lot of damage, and I'm not too sure if they're returning it well enough.
Yeah, I mean, Caren Tiger here just taking a bit of damage, but dealing some as well for themselves. So at the moment, Caren Tiger just clawing things back, and they've actually regained the health advantage over Gold Bass, who've lost quite a bit of damage there on Darjeeling, Poltolic, and Jin Shenbing. And you can start to see Caren Tiger making their way down towards the south of the map. Hiwami and Shinozakit getting some good map control. Probably haven't been spotted out here just yet. Maybe Hypo might have spotted them, but I think they might have been behind the ridge anyway. So they're on a massive, I guess, lurk, so to speak. And they're going to get around behind Gold Bass, and that could spell trouble.
It could spell trouble, but right now Gold Bass actually are in a little bit of trouble because Lyricia is pushing over the hill and on just about half HP, pushing into two 113s.
Yeah, they knew that they had to make their move here because of that rotation coming across from the Caren Tiger down towards the southern end of the map. They want to fight on their own terms, and they're going to try and get it across. Yupa, taking so much damage, is going to be focus fired down by the Gold Bass, and it is going to be a trade out though, because Caren Tigers picks themselves up one. It is an interesting fight going across here. Lots of damage coming across to plenty of different tanks. Focus fire not so great coming out in the later stages of this little brawl, and you can see the Caren Tigers have managed to rotate those two bat chats around from the back. Poltolic in a terrible position. The reload coming out there from Hiwami is going to be able to pick up that kill, and Mudam is able to take down Darjeeling. In the meanwhile, it's Lyricia and Aki Ovi in a little bit of a fight. In the end, Hiwami able to pick that one up, and really after that small quick passage of play, Gold Bass lose something like 4 tanks. Caren Tigers only losing 1.
Yeah, look, Caren Tigers' focus fire there was absolutely amazing, and look, I just don't know what this T49's done. Oh. There we go, that's what the T49's done. A little bit too late, but Hypo there showing why they do pick the T49 on this map, getting a massive shot off onto that bad chat and a ram to boot.
Yeah, pretty sick.
I
appreciated that one. Hina, though, probably not going to appreciate this. As the 113 rather will be coming in there for the ram, and does a bit of damage as well. Just a little bit of HP left here for Hina, but that's going to be the map for the Caren Tiger. 3-0 up.
There we go. Okay, Caren Tiger 3-0. So Gold Bass again. Just going to be feeling the pressure even more after that one. I think I predicted, what was it?
5-2, I think you said.
Yeah, I think I said 5-2 or 5-3 or something.
I don't know if we'll even get there. The way the Gold Bass are playing at the moment, doesn't look good for them. I mean,
no, I think Caren Tiger, they just baited the hook with the right type of worm there. They cast it over the hill onto the mines.
Yes.
And
the
Gold Bass, they swam up to the top of the mines. They took the bait, and Caren Tiger just pounced on them.
All right, enough of that, Alex. Let's have a look and see how that map turned out there for the Gold Bass. I'm interested to see whether or not we're going to see that T49. I hope we do.
Yes, hopefully. But here we go. So this was where a little bit of great fire from Opalisk in that match at 25T helped to take down WGL. Larissa just pushed over the hill first, took so much damage, and yes, there we go.
What was that? 1,193 damage.
that was a bat chat.
That
was a tier 9 bat chat. It's going down.
Rip.
Oh, brilliant.
Probably the best thing Gold Bass have done so far.
Yep, probably
today.
Probably. I think
as
so.
harsh as it is to say, they haven't been having the greatest of runs so far.
It was a pretty sick play though, so at least they can look forward to hopefully having that featured on our WGL APAC top 5 plays video, maybe even the global top 5 plays.
If that's not number 1 this week, something better be really good.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we'll have to wait and see, but it's a bit of a consolation prize for Gold Bass if they don't quite get.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be necessarily too happy with just that consolation prize.
No.
But having said that, Caren Tiger 3-0 up. They're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They'll be heading over to the defensive side of Mines here. And hoping to bring it back to a 4-0. Hopefully for them a 5-0, because that would be a real confidence booster heading into tomorrow and obviously next week. Yeah,
they'll be looking to fry these fish in the next half of the map, I think. Almost said goldfish. Gold Bass. Well, they're actually looking a little bit like goldfish at the moment, to be fair. Let's take a look at the game stats after that last one to see where Gold Bass went wrong, I think, Jordan.
All right, well, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, but I suspect maybe the T49 might have been the top damage coming out.
Actually, probably was. So honestly, we don't even need to look at it. It's just like, okay, who cares about the bad chats? The T49, it got the awesome kill. That's the end of it.
We don't care.
Yep.
Yeah. It was good stuff coming out there from whoever was driving that T49. I didn't see the name.
Hypo. Was it Hypo?
I think it might have been.
I think it was Hypo.
Maybe. Who cares? Well, not necessarily who cares. But
Wow. Jordan, Elfish Guy Maze. Who cares about the players?
No.
Wow.
Don't take words out.
Gonna get some hate mail after that, Jordan.
I'm used to it. We know it was a Gold Bass player and it was a good play. We'll see it on the top 5 plays. That's all that matters.
Yeah, well, everyone can actually head over to our YouTube where our top 5 plays are being posted, which is youtube.com/WGAsiaCG. So head over there, check out all of our cool stuff.
Right, it looks like we do have the post-game stats here, so we'll see whether or not we're right about that T49, whether or not it was up the top there for those guys. And well, let's be real. It's not surprising to not see it up there, but that was the dream. It'll probably be number 8, maybe number 8 or 9.
Okay. Yeah, we've got that TVP T5051 just got so much damage out. Absolutely insane. But the T49... Oh, so that was basically...
That was the only shot he managed to
The only proper shot that Hypo got, which is devastating.
He's still got a kill. So
still got a kill.
Can't complain.
Yep.
Well,
and it's surprising to see Darjeeling down the bottom of that scoreboard as well. And the TVP down the bottom as well, 200 damage, getting one shot off in the entire autoloader.
Yeah.
Not great.
It'll be interesting, I guess, to see how they turn things around in the next map.
They're going to need to do a U-turn. I think, Jordan. So let's see. And how are they going to be doing a U-turn? I think with some bat chats is the answer. Going to be taking 3 of those. TV PT5051, RU251, 2113. So basically the Gold Bass here, they've got some of the French tanks, they've got those Chinese heavies, one of the Czechoslovakian tier 10 mediums, as well as a German tier 8 light tank. And it's a pretty similar story over on the Caren Tiger side, as we can see. But they've got one AMX 50B in the mix as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out for the Caren Tiger, because I don't think they're going to have necessarily the brawliness to be able to contest that hill if it turns into a bit of a brawl. If they can get up onto the hill quickly with those bat chats, then it's a different story. Or even if they just use the boost, like, you know, the late boost on the defensive side.
They used the boost quite well, like that time, I think. And, you know, we saw them, I think we saw them or another team use the boost against EL Gaming on mines, and it didn't work because they just did it too late and EL Gaming already rushed the hill.
Yep.
But there I do feel like that boost worked, where they just bumped, I think it was...
Poltolic, I'm pretty
Poltolic,
sure.
yeah. I just bumped him up the hill and really kind of got him up fairly early on. But, yeah, we'll wait and see.
Speed is key.
Speed is
controlling
key.
that hill. You know, sometimes the teams don't even necessarily tend to even contest it at all, which is interesting.
Sometimes.
But in certain cases where both teams are going to contest it, it really tends to be the team that gets up there first and with numbers is the ones to pull off the victory. But at the moment, Gold Bass not going to be too interested in that hill. They're making their way towards the 2 cap quite quickly. Hypo in the RU251 has got into a really forward passive scouting position here. Right into that bush. Does he have camo? No, he doesn't, but he has binocs.
Okay. It's not bad, but oh, look at this Caren Tiger, though. They're on the hill, and they're shooting right down on towards the Gold Bash. They're like fish in a barrel.
Yeah, the AMX 50B here, Mudam doing so much damage. He's still got 2 shots left in the clip as well. Simona needs to be very careful. The HP there, only 320 on that bat chat. Poltolic as well, taking a few shots. It looks like Mudam going to fire off a couple more shots and now reloading, of course. Iwami in the TVP as well on the reload. So that's sort of, I guess, why that rain of fire has just died down a little bit here on the Gold Bass. But certainly that trade looked pretty good for Caren Tiger. Having said that, though, Opalisk in the 251 down to 37 HP. So again, another very low tank to start things off for Caren Tiger.
There we go. So I think Caren Tiger right now are going to be a little bit worried that Opalisk is one slight nudge away from death in that RU251 Sparpanzer, but so far that base cap has started, so Gold Bass putting the pressure on. They've got Jiangxing being on there with that 113, and should be pretty tricky actually for Caren Tiger to try and get the resets here, because I'm really liking Gold Bass's positioning. They've got a couple of guys up in the lighthouse, a couple of guys up in the further coast, and Mudam, he has to be really careful poking up.
Yeah, certainly does. If he tries to get a reset from that position, he's definitely going to take 2 or 3 shells to, I guess, the underside of his tank, which should be relatively easy to pen. He actually gets up okay. No one's punishing him for this.
No.
He's going to get another shot off. Can he get a third before Jin Shengbeng turns around? Not quite, but still 2 free shots. Didn't take anything in return. His teammate's taking a bit of damage, though. Hiwami is going to go down, and it's a trade out, a 1-for-1 at the moment. Poltolic going down as well as Hiwami. Having said that, though, Simona is going to go down just after the fact. And now it's a tank advantage for Caren Tiger, but their HP pool is looking so poor at the moment.
Yeah, it is not looking good. Gold Bass still have 3 members as Jiangxing Big on the flag cap is going to be going down. And now Caren Tiger, they've relieved some pressure on themselves by taking that tank off the flag. So if they want, they can actually fall back now and try and regroup.
Gold Bass is going to have to fall back here, taking a whole lot of damage from those 2 tanks pushing up the hill. He's trying to hightail it out of here, but I don't know if he's going to get out in time. Those 2 tanks are going to be cresting the hill momentarily. He might be okay, just getting down below the lip, I think. So he gets out of there. Larissa and Darjeeling not too interested in actually looking at him at all. And Mudam is going to get the reload across. AQOV also with the reload coming up very shortly. So all of a sudden, or very shortly, I suspect we'll see a bit of an explosion coming out from the Caren Tiger once again now that they're off the reload. Shinozaki under a lot of pressure, though. 2 tanks bearing down upon him. He needs to get a couple of shots off here, but he doesn't manage to do that. And Gold Bass take another kill. It's very close to a 4v4. Opalisk so low on HP, probably shouldn't have much of an impact on this one. And Larissa might be able to take him out.
This is so tricky right now. Akiova is running right through the open, so low on HP, 810. That's 2 shots from these 113s. Darjeeling's just about reloaded in that TVP 50-51 as well. Mudam just going to be trying to poke the hill, and
they really need to pop Darjeeling here, and they've got a great position to be able to do it. Mudam is going to get the first shot off here. Darjeeling trying to respond, bounces one off Mudam, but Okiov is going to go down there. Larissa picks that one up. Darjeeling is going to go down as in response here, but the AMX 50B on the reload. Polly with only one shot left. It's all down to Tepco in the TVP. He's not going to have enough damage. The 113 will get the reload across here and should be able to take down Tepco.
Hina's coming in.
Hina coming in from the background as well. He's going to have a lot of damage available here for himself. 5 shots in the clip. Mudam so low on HP. He's going to be going down there to Hina, and it does look like Gold Bash should be able to close this one out. Hina very low on HP, but oh my lord, what is going on here? Wow. Hina picks up that kill, and Polly all of a sudden finding himself alone there for Caren Tiger, but Gold Bash played that one really well.
He played that one extremely well, and I'm just taking a look at Polly right here. He has got 5 shots in his clip. That's technically speaking enough
Hina
to take out Hina. Oh!
No.
No! Oh no, that's devastating. Oh, if he could just have taken out Hina there, that would have made things so much easier for Polly, but he couldn't.
If he takes out Hina, right, it's a 2v1, he can actually take one shell from Larissa or Hypo without going down if he doesn't take damage, which he doesn't.
Even a shell from Larissa is stretching it a bit. But definitely from Hypo.
Yeah. 413 off the 113? Maybe, yeah. Oh, Hypo, he spotted him. Polly's really not in a good spot here. Actually, Larissa takes a bit of damage jumping off the cliff there. So they make it a little bit easier here for Polly if he decides that he wants to actually have a go at this. Yeah, that's no good. And you're right, it is only one shot there for the bat chat from the 113, and it's going to be Gold Bash picking up...
There we go. Gold Bash pick up
their second round.
A round, finally.
Well, their second round of the entire competition. Their first round of this matchup. So...
lots of pressure relief there for Gold Bash, I think, and you know that was a very close round still, of course, and Caren Tiger, they're not going to be disappointed about that, but you know 3-1 of course, so yeah, look, I feel as though we could be heading towards something like a 5-3 here, and now that Gold Bash have got that win under their belts, you know they're going to be feeling a little bit of relief, having kind of shown that they can do that, and potentially showing that that they're coming back into this one, I think, Jordan.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if I'm quite as sold as you are there. I don't think Caren Tigers played that one quite as well as they could have.
No, I agree.
I agree though that Gold Bash did look pretty good in that one. Like they played it quite well from the position they were in. They certainly could have lost it, but they were able to pull it over to a victory. Having said that though, I mean, I still find it difficult to really back Gold Bash into any of these matchups because of their records so far, so that's at least my thinking. But let's have a look and see the replays from that round, because I guess that'll give us a bit of an indication as to how things went wrong for Caren Tiger. Look, they were actually up in a pretty decent position here, and Mudam got so much free damage across.
Yeah, but the issue here is I feel as though Mudam could have got the other couple of shots off, at least one more shot. I don't think there was anyone.
The focus was on his teammates, sure, yeah, not on him.
Yeah, so could have maybe capitalised on it a little bit more, and here again, Mudam, you know, trying to get some shots off. Larissa got a good shot off on towards Akia v Darjeeling primary.
I feel like that was a mistake there from Mudam to push so aggressively like that. He probably should have reloaded beforehand. Imagine how much more damage he would have been able to get off.
Would have helped a lot.
Yeah, he only got half his damage off essentially because he only had two shells left in the clip there. So that could have changed the outcome of the entire map.
Could have helped a lot, and particularly since the guys from Gold Bash didn't actually shoot Mudam there. They wouldn't have known that he only had two shells left in his clip. So yeah, but there you go. That's how it happens sometimes, I guess. So you know, Mudam has been playing pretty well so far this
well, apart from
today.
that one time he flipped his tank.
Apart from last week, yeah, when he flipped his tank, that was a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've seen Mudam play pretty well. Darjeeling, I'm liking Darjeeling's play on Gold Bash as well. So seeing some kind of emerging star players from these teams.
Oh, well, speaking of star players, we'll have a look and see who was the star player on that matchup for which teams. Hina, the Gold Bash, for Gold Bash rather, in the bat chat. Did a lot of damage.
Okay, Hina, yeah, 3,800 damage in the bat chat there. And the TVP pulling up big again. Darjeeling their 3.2 thousand AMX as well. So, you know, overall some pretty kind of expected numbers. Those bat chats just dealing so much damage like we know that they can. So
I'd be interested to see who really let the ball drop there for Caren Tiger, because I mean, well, really it seems like a lot of them did, but Hiwami there, I suppose, in the TVP, only 650 damage, probably not ideal. Even the RU-251 Opalisk able to out-damage the TVP there, so that's not too great.
No.
But across the board, it seemed like the damage numbers there for Caren Tiger were a bit low.
Look, I feel as though, yeah, Caren Tiger there, I mean, technically speaking, they almost got the entire team of Goldbass down. They were just like one and a half, let's say 1.5 tanks to get them down. But, you know, that's what happens sometimes in World of Tanks. Sometimes, you know, it could have been the RNG not going in their favour for a few shots. It could have been, you know, factors like that reload from AMX 50B not happening. But, yeah.
Alrighty, looks like our next map is almost going to be underway. Let's have a look and see whether or not the Caren Tiger are going to be able to close it out here on Ghost Town.
Okay, Ghost Town up next, and I'm liking Caren Tiger's lineup there. They've got 3 IS4s, 2 FV215Bs, and 2 Batchat 25T APs in their lineup, and Goldbass this time going with the T54 lightweight for their tier 8, which I'm not a big fan of the T54 lightweight. It's just got a slightly weaker gun than the RU-251, but you know, it's still alright.
I'm a little bit worried here now for the Goldbass. They played Ghost Town twice last week, so they played 4 rounds on it. They lost all of them. So 0% win rate so far on Ghost Town. On the other hand, Caren Tiger have also played it twice, and they've won 3 of their rounds, dropping only 1 on the attacking side. So they've got a lot better of a record, I suppose, on Ghost Town here up against Goldbass, and wouldn't be surprised to see a 2-0 here in the favour of Caren Tiger, which would give them that 3-1, that 5-1 victory rather. 5-1
victory. Yeah. There we go. So. Ooh, look, you know, that they're not the sorts of stats which you want to be hearing if you're Goldbass. You know, you're coming into this round. You do not want to be knowing that you have a 0% win rate after 4 games. And Caren Tiger's looking so good with that 66% win rate. But look, overall, I feel as though Ghost Town, you know, maybe Goldbass have learnt from their mistakes so far. You know, if they've had a sit down and had a kind of look at what they did wrong, tried to improve it.
This was pretty much the best possible scenario for Caren Tiger to get themselves in, to get onto Ghost Town. I mean, either that or Steps. Seems to be another strong map for Caren Tiger and another weak map for Goldbass, but regardless, we're here on Ghost Town. We'll see how it turns out. Obviously, Caren Tiger up 3-1. Goldbass really fighting for their life in this one.
Yes, they are. So, you can see here, Caren Tiger are going to be on the attacking side first. And just heading up towards the 1 flag from the looks of things and sending a few tanks earlier. I like Hypo's aggressive spotting in the city, but he might be caught out a little bit, but the Batchats still haven't reloaded.
Yeah, and they're not in a position to actually fire on him either, keeping himself alive. And wow, the Batchats didn't even manage to get any damage across. Poltolic being a little bit cheeky in the AMX 50B. He's going to get 1 shot across. Might be looking for another one, but I think he's going to fall back safely.
Yeah, there we go. It's one of the dangers, I suppose, with regards to pushing very early on with 2 auto loaders. It takes so long to reload, but here we go. I don't think these guys are too worried about the cap, but look at this. The Goldbats are coming all the way behind Caren Tiger. Caren Tiger need a move.
Yeah, this is a massive flank coming out from Goldbass. All of these guys from Caren Tiger are going to be caught off guard from behind. It seems like Goldbass aren't necessarily getting the damage across that they need. Hiwami taking only 737, but it is going to be Shinozaki to find the first kill there onto Hypo. Caren Tiger, they've got another tank coming around from behind. That's Jing Shenbing, and well, this is going to be a crazy little fight coming out here, Alex, because Goldbass have got the numbers here and they're getting the damage across as well. Hiwami is going to be taken down there by Simona, and now the focus is onto Yupa. You can start to see the reinforcements coming in here from the Caren Tigers though, and they are starting to do damage for themselves. It's pretty even at the moment. Goldbass probably just in the lead, but it does seem like things are starting to go more and more in the favour of Goldbass. This aggressive movement has definitely caught Caren Tiger off guard.
This is not looking good for Caren Tiger at all. We can see, you know, getting flanked by Goldbass right there left them so open, and Goldbass was just able to come around the corner, pick whoever they wanted to take down, and these...
Jing Shen being in the back of the map there, just getting a bit of a ram kill on. It's probably going to help them out there, and I suspect Caren Tiger here are going to be falling apart. Shinozaki in a bit of a duel up against one of those heavy tanks. I'm not sure who it is. I think it's Simona. No, it's not. It's someone else. Jin Shen Bing perhaps. Maybe in the medium. But regardless, Shinozaki not having the best of times. And Caren Tiger, surprisingly enough, look like they're going to be losing this one. So, well, the stats do lie, apparently.
The stats do lie. There you go. And that is it. So, Caren Tiger getting taken out there and evening up the score a little bit, 3-2. So who knows? With any luck, my prediction, which I think ended up being 5-3.
5-2. I think it was 5-2. Maybe 5-3.
Okay. Well, one of the two.
Yeah.
But, yeah, looked a little bit better.
It is looking a bit better. I think it was a bit of a bold prediction, considering Gold Bass had only taken one round throughout the entire competition so far.
What can I say? I'm a bit of a bit of a wizard. So I've got my crystal ball.
Yeah.
You know, that crystal ball of tanks. That's why I do so well on fantasy.
Yeah. Well, that certainly looked a lot better for Gold Bass nonetheless. I mean, that aggressive play, they certainly seemed like they were a lot more comfortable. They were a lot more aware of what was going on. They were able to dictate the pace of the game, and they really caught Caren Tiger off guard.
Yeah, they did, exactly. And I think, if we take a look at some of the biggest plays in that game here, we can see this was the big issue for Caren Tiger. They pushed through the corner and Gold Bass were coming right up behind them. Hoemi got caught out, and effectively all three of these Caren Tiger members, they split up from their team, split up from those other FE215Bs, and Gold Bass could just come right through into that corner and pick whoever they wanted. They picked Hoemi first, then they picked Yupa, and it was just curtains.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, it was so strange from Caren Tiger. I mean, they were trying to force something, but Gold Bass just had the read, and they were able to come around behind. Really, not a good situation at all for Caren Tiger to find themselves in, but they've still got a couple of rounds to play with, so they're okay for the moment. It's only 3-2. Heading over to the attacking side for Gold Bass, I suspect we're going to see some more aggression, I'd say.
Yeah, a little bit more aggression. I think it worked. The aggression really worked out well for them that time, and it's not something that we always see on Ghost Town. Sometimes these teams do just set up in nice defensive posturings, hold all the way back to the kind of around 3 line, kind of 3D, 3C, round about there, and just kind of get set up in the town. But yeah, the aggression definitely worked out. Yeah,
look, I mean that map was just very sided, I guess, in the favour of Gold Bass there. I think the post-battle stats probably going to display that. You can see the top 3 tanks are those from the Gold Bass. So wow, look at how much damage Simona did in the FE215B.
Yeah, and the other thing is, well, those IS4s that Caren Tiger picked, like I just don't really feel like they can go toe-to-toe with the FE215Bs as well, and the AMX 50Bs on a map like Ghost Town.
It is a little interesting to see the IS4s being picked up, because, I mean, it doesn't really feel like it's the kind of tank that has much going for it. I know it's a tier 10 tank and stuff, but like when you think about the AMX 50B, you're like, okay, it has lots of damage, it's got pretty decent mobility. The 113, it's got decentish mobility. Obviously, it's a heavy tank, has some reasonable damage as well. And then like the E100, it's a more of a tankier tank. It's able to soak some damage and deal some damage. But when you think of the IS4, you're kind of like, what does it really do?
Yeah, I always prefer the IS7.
Yeah.
Just because it's got higher alpha on that gun, about 500 compared to the IS4's round about the 400 mark on the 130mm gun versus the 122mm gun on the IS4. So that's why I like something like the IS7. But yeah.
I'd be interested to see what the thought process is behind those IS4s, but I guess we'll go ahead and take a look and see what is going to be the picks for the next one. It does look like some more IS4s coming out here for Caren Tiger.
Okay, so they've got 3 IS4s once again. And then essentially some of the usual suspects, a couple of FE215Bs, a couple of Batchat 25T APs as well, but guys from Gold Bass going with that E100 as well. They don't have an AMX 50B on their lineup this time, which could be a little bit disappointing to not see that one coming out. But overall, I think it's still a pretty strong lineup for them.
Alrighty, well, it's going to be fun to see how this one turns out. Whether or not those IS4s are going to be able to play more of a part here for Caren Tiger, I think is going to be one of the big issues.
I think it is, obviously, and you know, the IS4, like, it's maybe they'll just prove us wrong. Honestly, I think they could prove us wrong here and just, you know, completely demolish Goldbass.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you say, like, even if the IS4s do quite well, could you not make an argument that maybe a different tank in that position would have done better, an FV215B, which is something we see all over the place, or an AMX50B? Do you not think that one of those tanks might have been able to do the job that the IS4 is doing, only better?
I mean, when we think about what the IS4 offers, it's, you know, it's got a gun with about 2200 DPM, so the DPM's all right on it. Low accuracy, so, you know, does accuracy really matter on Ghost Town? Probably not.
No.
And you know, it's got very nice turret armor, so can't really go through its turret, and 2500 hit points as well. So, you know, it's just like a super kind of all-rounder, I guess.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, we'll have to wait and see whether or not that's going to work out here for the Caren Tiger. I guess they've had to commit to it now. Object 416, interesting here for the Gold Bass. Yeah,
we do not often see the Object 416 at all. Of course, that Soviet Tier 8 medium. But it's looking like Gold Bass just poising a little bit more defensively this time, even though that they are on the attack, and just going to be heading towards some kind of... Oh, you don't want to run into that.
You don't want to turn that corner. Certainly not.
No. But I think Gold Bass are just going to be looking to have Caren Tiger push into them, but really Caren Tiger, I don't really feel like they're going to need to at all. So, yeah, overall, CT just going to be retreating a little bit as well. We can see them not having any spots out on Gold Bass either. Shino Zakat, he's down the bottom in that J5 line, and without any eyes on towards Gold Bass, they could actually misrotate here, Caren Tiger. They could go all the way up to the one flag, thinking that it's a one flag push, whereas in reality, Gold Bass, they're moving right through the city to the two flag.
Well, Shino Zakat needs to be really careful with what he's doing here. He's about to turn around that corner where there's like 4 or 5 members of Gold Bass, has just slowed himself down for the moment. I don't know if he spotted them out or if he's just got some sort of intuition that maybe he shouldn't turn around that corner. The rest of Caren Tiger are making their way up towards that one cap. Shino Zakat, for the moment, is hanging around behind, and he could turn out to be a crucial player for Caren Tiger here. If he can get behind Darjeeling here in that E100, it'll put a lot of damage into the back, and he actually gets a shot across to the side of him. Not sure if he actually managed to penetrate that one, but the rest of the guys on Caren Tiger from the front trying to put damage into the E100. Gold Bass taking things into their own hands, making their way forwards here. Larissa taking huge amounts of damage. The focus fire is good here for Caren Tiger. Yupa starting to take some damage in response, but it does seem like Larissa should be the first one to go down here, and indeed is. Yupa picks that one up now, losing a lot of HP himself. Darjeeling in the E100 on the flank. Interestingly enough, not something you'd be saying every day. And you can see Boltaholic able to pick up Yupa here, so it's a 1-for-1 trade at the moment, but Gold Bass have lost so much HP. As I say that though, Caren Tiger getting a lot of HP done to them, or damage done to them in response. And
Hypo and Jing coming in from behind in the AMX50B and the Object 416. This is not looking good for Caren Tiger. The reinforcements have just arrived for Gold Bass.
Yeah, this is certainly not good for Caren Tiger. They need Shino Zakat to come up big here. He's able to pick up that 1 kill, but there's only 3 tanks left alive for Caren Tiger here. Shino Zakat has 5 shots remaining. Akio V does manage to do a... No, he doesn't do any damage. I think maybe to Jin Shen Bing, perhaps. But it is Shino Zakat just driving straight in there and getting focused down. Great work from Gold Bass, recognizing that he's the tank that had the most damage available to him, and they took him out. And unfortunate for Caren Tiger here, I mean, they had that fight going, and Shino Zakat was nowhere to be seen that entire time. And that's why Gold Bass were able to pick up that victory.
Yep, there we go. And Opalisk even missing a few shots there. And, well, I tell you what, definitely worked. That Object 416 by Hyper, I would be interested to... Well, there you go.
Now, I look like a bit of a fool because I predicted that Caren Tiger was going to pick that one up 2-0, but...
Oh, what's new?
Yeah, what is new?
But there you go. So, evening up the scores a little bit.
3-3.
Yeah, 3-3. Caren Tiger. A little bit shaky after that one, but I really like that Object 416. Just taking a look at it. I mean, we'll see later on in the battle stats how well it did. But, yeah, I like the pick.
Well, let's see how well it did. In fact, do have a look at the replays here, see if it was able to contribute a whole lot to that fight. And Yeah, just look at the position here from Shinozaki. This entire fight, if you look on the map, it's essentially Shinozaki and even to an extent Opalus also not having an impact. Whereas Gold Bass had all of their members doing damage, and as a result were able to do more damage across the board.
Yeah, this is a sort of fight which the guys from Caren Tiger just shouldn't have engaged in, and by this time everyone on Gold Bass had kind of got into it and really essentially, you know, joined the firefight. It was too late for Caren Tiger to take down Accio V. Sorry, to take down, I think, Larissa, and that was it.
Yeah, really interesting stuff there. I mean, Caren Tiger, we've seen them throughout, I guess, the first 3 maps, or 3 rounds even, looked so well, looked so good rather, and fighting well as a team. And all of a sudden, they just seem to be falling apart, fighting individually, or not individually, but you know, having a few members not necessarily in the fights there. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened in terms of who did what damage there, because I think that will paint a bit more of a picture here for us.
Here we go. So you see, look at that. That's why I love the Object 416. It dealt 2,441 damage. Let's not forget, that's the Tier 8 tank right there on Hypo's side. And I think half the reason it does so much, it's dealt so much damage here is not only because Hypo's played it extremely well, but the Object 416, I really feel as though we could be seeing it picked a little bit more because it's got an excellent gun on it. It's got a Tier 9 gun with an average penetration of, I think, about 330 millimeters of armor on it. So that means it can go through all of these FV215Bs, it can go through all these IS4s essentially with ease when it's using premium rounds, which all of these guys are. So it becomes a massive damage threat in these little firefights, whereas we saw there, you saw at the end there, Jordan, those Tier 9 bat chats that was just reloading, it doesn't do anything.
No. Again, a reasonably disappointing performance coming out from the IS-4s again. We saw, obviously, the top damage for Caren Tiger. One of them was the IS-4, but the other 2 IS-4s were the 2 bottom damage. So, weight that on the scale. Does it really pay off?
Yeah, a little bit tricky, But, you know, I suppose Gold Bass, they tried something different there in the Object 416, and it definitely worked. And yeah, we'll see what they go for next.
Yeah, well, it does look like we are getting close to heading into our next map. So let's go ahead and find out what that is going to be, and also what the tanks are going to be for that one. It is going to be Ruinberg.
Okay, interesting. And yeah, so here we go. On Ruinberg, Caren Tiger fielding a super fast lineup. Lots of bat chats. And 1 AMX 50B there, that French Tier 10 heavy autoloader.
That's interesting. I mean, they're not going to want to get into a bit of a brawl here with those FV215Bs, so I suspect they're probably going to be on the attacking side with that lineup. Try to maybe get a few rotations across. Try to outflank their opponents and outmaneuver their opponents as opposed to just outshoot their opponents.
Yep. No, exactly. So we'll wait and see, I guess. See where Caren Tiger sit after this one. But of course, Gold Bass, you know, they're still going to be trying to pull back and trying to turn this one into a tiebreaker and a tiebreaker win.
Well, I mean, they could essentially win off this. Both teams 3-3.
True.
If someone goes 2-0 here on Ruinberg, then it's a 5-3 victory.
Yeah, 2-0 in Ruinberg, it's going to be tricky to see a 2-0 in Ruinberg. But yeah, I mean, even if the Gold Bass do turn it completely around. But here we go on Ruinberg, so we can see both flags there. One in the town or just outside the city, and one in the kind of valley right next to the town there. That's our second flag. Here we go.
Okay, Gold Bass on the defensive side, as expected. Caren Tiger attacking with that massive bat chat stack.
Massive bat chat stack. A stack of bat chats. A sandwich of bat chats. Not too sure what the plural for those is, but already some shots getting fired, and these bat chats haven't reloaded yet, so we're sort of seeing the same sort of issue as we saw last game, where these bat chats are spotting out enemy tanks, but they can't shoot them yet.
I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of this push here from Accio V, getting straight in towards that 2-cap. He's actually managed to get out of there okay, and this is actually quite good from Caren Tiger. They've, I suspect, gone straight up on towards this A-line. Haven't taken any damage as they've crossed there, and now they're going to get straight into Darjeeling, who's been completely caught off. Darjeeling getting absolutely decimated, trying to do as much damage as he can, but not able to do a whole lot. 355 going over to Shinozaki. Huami takes a little bit of damage as well, but that's certainly a worthwhile trade there for Caren Tiger, taking one gun out of the game, and also an FV215B, which is one of the the big tanks there for Gold Bass that they would have wanted to keep in the game.
Yeah, definitely. That's not good at all. But look at this. Mudam caught out.
Mudam certainly caught out and hasn't got the reload either. Might just get it up and get one shot off there to Hina. Doesn't quite get the second. Still managed to at least salvage something out of that one. You can see Poltholic taking a lot of damage, but he's able to take down Opalisk for his trouble. And once again, it seems like Goldbass just turning things around after getting off to a relatively poor start.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Gold Bass right now. They've taken away 2 of the Caren Tiger members, but look at this, the base cap, 8 seconds left. Gold Bass have to get the reset.
They certainly do. AQOV in a really good spot here just to slow things down. Even if Gold Bass decide to take him out, there's not going to be enough time there. Caren Tiger once again pulling off the cap. What? I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh my goodness. Gold Bass have got to be choking. They're going to be so disappointed.
They had that in the bag.
They really did. They looked so good at the start there. Then it's just a simple thing. You miss a giant number on the middle of your screen.
Yeah, look, sometimes you can kind of not necessarily ignore it, but you don't necessarly recognize that it's there.
You don't register, exactly.
You see it and it's like 5 seconds left. You're like, oh no, we got to get to the cap.
Yeah, and sometimes exactly. Sometimes when it's like 30 seconds left, you're just like, oh yeah, 30 seconds. I've got plenty of time. That's like half a minute. I'll just go out and finish off this last kill down the bottom of the map here. Then I'll just go back up. And by the time you've done that, it's like, oh wait a minute, 10 seconds left to cap. I can't get there.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened there for Gold Bass. They were in the pole position to be able to close that map out. They had the tank advantage. They had the HP advantage. Unfortunately, though, they didn't have the position advantage, and Caren Tiger used that to perfection.
Perfection indeed, Jordan. So right now on this next half of Ruinberg, going to be swapping things up, of course, and the guys from Caren Tiger will be heading on to the defense this time. So
yeah,
interesting to see what they take.
Well, I dare say it's not going to be 4 Batchats and AMX50B and a Batchat. What was the other one?
Batchat 25T.
They had 2 25 APs, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two of those.
Lots of Batchats and AMX50B. Let's just roll with that. Don't think they're going to be using that one. Probably a little bit more of a heavier oriented lineup.
Maybe if we're lucky, we'll see a TD.
Yeah, I suspect that it's not so far off the cards, but let's go reel things back a little bit here. Have a look at the post-game stats here for this match, and well, you can see both those Gold Bass members up the top there. Not surprising, but damage isn't always everything, is it?
No, not at all. And interesting to see Yupa and Mudam up the top there as well. So it was actually quite an even spread of damage between both Gold Bass and Caren Tiger in that match, which I guess kind of reflects on how there were still quite a few members of both teams left. But yeah, there you go. So we'll see. We'll see in this next one whether damage is going to be a little bit higher, whether we do see a full elimination victory, or perhaps Gold Bass might take it out in another flag cap.
I really, really don't think Caren Tiger will be too keen to let that happen.
You don't reckon?
Caren Tiger is going to want to close this one out 5-3. They definitely don't want to let it go to a 4-4 into the tiebreaker. And I certainly expect that they feel like they're the better team here. And they probably feel like they've let Gold Bass get away with a little bit too much.
Yeah, and because of course, let's not forget, right, that if they let it go to a tiebreaker, then any team that as soon as you get into a tiebreaker, you're always going to get less points than if you win automatically. So a win outright gives you 3 points. A tiebreaker win gives you 2. Tiebreaker loss still gives you 1. So Gold Bass really going to be looking to push this into at least a next game.
Yeah, they certainly will. I mean, the best case scenario here for Gold Bass is they can get 2 points out of this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's great for them because they're on none at the moment.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
if they get 1 point, that's better than nothing. Yeah. They definitely don't want to have fought this hard to come back into this.
They do not want to go 2 weeks without a point.
No, they certainly don't. Alrighty, let's have a look and see. IS4s again coming out for Caren Tiger.
Got 3 FE215Bs on the Caren Tiger side as well. AMX50B, I like that. So overall, look, we're not seeing anything too crazy for both of these sides. You know, just stock standard picks, and it's going to come down to how they play it, where they push. The two IS4s and Caren Tiger, we don't always see that on Ruinberg, but you know, I feel as though it has its moments on Ruinberg when you can, you know, just put the IS4's super strong turret out, you know, peek that around some corners potentially, but. There we go.
Alrighty, well, we'll see how it works out for them. Such an important round coming up here between the two teams. Caren Tiger, if they close this one out, they win the series 5-3, pick themselves up 3 points. Gold Bass, if they take this one away, they head it into the tiebreaker, which is going to be Steps, by the way.
Steps, okay, so it's going to be an interesting tiebreaker if we get that far, but I don't think Gold Bass is going to be thinking that far ahead just yet. Going to be trying to focus on winning this one, and it's looking like a two-flag push is the order of the day. Of course, you know, a while ago we did actually used to see two-flag pushes being the kind of preferred strategy here on Ruinberg, but you know, now it's kind of shifting quite a little bit, and I think even
if they catch Darjeeling off here, this could be really dangerous for Caren Tiger. Opal is probably spotting him out there, but has taken a bit of damage and is going to fall back behind the safety of those houses. So Darjeeling not going to be punished for that little mistake. And they are all going to get onto that 2-cap here, so we will start to see a bit of a rotation coming across from Caren Tiger.
Yeah, okay, so Caren Tiger moving their tanks away from the 1 flag, heading towards the 2 flag cap zone right there, and I'm liking this. This is a decisive push from Gold Bass. They've got some good positioning down on that 0 line with 2 of their medium tanks. And I think Caren Tiger now are going to be feeling the pressure. The base cap, 36 seconds left.
Hypo is going to play a crucial role in this attack from Gold Bass, rather. He's going to have to deal a lot of damage on those crosses. He's in the AMX 5100, which is an autoloader, so if the IS4 decides the wrong time to cross, Hypo is going to deal a lot of damage. The RU-251 also needs to be careful here. No reset coming out. There you go. Simona takes a little bit of damage from Shinozakit, but Shinozakit takes some in response. Now Jinshen being the one to take the fire for Gold Bass, and there is trades going across the board, and for the moment it seems like Caren Tiger's just winning the trades, but it is so close.
Very, very close right now, and surprising that we haven't seen any tanks go down. As I say that, though, Polly does, and all of the Gold Bass right here, they're in the town, they're trying to brawl it out. I like their positioning. They should be able to get some good shots on towards Caren Tiger from here. Home is going to be the next target.
Yeah, this is not looking good at all for Caren Tiger. Gold Bass getting in great positions. They've also got Hypo down there at the bottom of the map, or not necessarily the bottom, more towards the middle of the map, dealing lots of damage. Opal is trying to keep him busy, but not sure how well that's working out. Seems like Opalist might close this one out. Actually picks up the kill there, so there is hope yet for Caren Tiger. Mudam able to pick up Poltaholic. Akio V also picking up Jing Shen Bing. So all of a sudden, everything turns back in the favor of Caren Tiger. As I say that, though, Mudam is going to go down. Laricia picks that one up. It's a 4 versus 4.
It is a 4 versus 4. Laricia is one shot from death, and Simona is starting to look a little bit unhealthy. Also, Shinozakit in that IS4, going to be poking very, very soon. But so far, I'm liking Gold Bass's positioning. They've still got all of their tanks up alive. I think Hina in that bat chat is just about reloaded. As soon as that reload is complete, that is a lot of damage back on the field for Gold Bass. They need to get him down.
Akio V is going to go down very quickly there, and now Shinozakit has been isolated. Opalisk in the RU-251 doing so much work here for Caren Tiger, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. He's trying to do his best to get damage across. It's Yupa and Opalisk now to hold this one off for Caren Tiger. Make that just Yupa, as Opalisk is going to be taken down. It's now a 1 versus 3. Darjeeling, Simona, and Hina should be able to close this one out for Gold Bass. It looks like we're heading into the tiebreaker.
It looks like that indeed, Jordan, as Yupa, well, potentially if he'd pushed there, he might have been able to get one shot on towards Simona, which well, needed 2 shots to take him down. Darjeeling could have potentially been a 1 shot if he got some good RNG, but Hina in that bat chat, still on 1400 HP, just not really doable for our friend Yupa.
Hina just coming off the reload there. Yupa actually wasting his shot, and now he is going to be taken down without any issues at all. Hina getting behind. This is all said and done. So, Caren Tiger and Gold Bass going to be going to 4 and 4. The tiebreaker coming up very shortly, and Well, who would have thought that before the match started that we'd be seeing Gold Bass taking Caren Tiger to the tiebreaker?
Absolutely. And look, Gold Bass have got to be pretty happy at least that they know that they'll be getting some points this week. They won't be sitting on 0, which is always good to know.
Always
I think
get to get out of that naughty 0.
Yes, 12th spot on the ladder. But, well, actually, they still might be technically 12th spot on the ladder.
I think they probably will be.
But
maybe if they get the 2 points, they might be equal 11.
Yeah, okay. That's what you're looking for. But, yeah, there you go. So, I think on this next map, Steps, of course, it depends on which sides the teams are playing on, but I feel as though a defensive side of Steps for Gold Bass would work well.
Yeah, well, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay of that one because, well, there were certainly some big moments coming out here for Gold Bass.
There were indeed, and right here we can just see the positioning of Gold Bass before they kind of pulled the trigger. And this is where the two flag pushes in my mind really work well, is when you actually push your entire team up away from the flag
If you don't sit on the
into
flag,
the city.
that's it, yeah.
Exactly.
Which you could argue is not necessarily a 2 flag push in the end there, really. It's more of a town push, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like they
more
go
of a town
through
push.
the 2 flag, but they're not really focusing on the 2 flag.
Exactly. More of a town push. And, you know, those auto-loaders getting the reloads on Gold Bass and Caren Tigers just losing them out earlier on just really, really hurt CT. So, there we go. That was how Gold Bass managed to take an Opalist there. Was trying to get the last shot onto Darjeeling. Trying to get one more shot onto Darjeeling.
Yeah.
They should have just played it a little bit safer there.
Certainly should. I mean, Opalist picked up, 2 or 3 kills there for the Caren Tiger, but it wasn't enough in that little tier
251 Sparpanzer. Sparpanzer.
Sparpanzer.
Yeah. Oh, well. He's got to be pretty happy with himself.
Well, I don't know if he'd be feeling too great right now, letting this go. I mean, they were 3-0 up, Caren Tiger, and now they're back to 4-4. So they certainly have dropped the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I know that Mudam and lots of the other Caren Tiger guys are actually on Twitter as well, so I wonder what they'll be tweeting after this match, particularly if they end up losing it out in this tiebreaker. I'm sure they won't be too happy at all, but
no,
we'll have to wait and see.
Well, you wouldn't be, would you? I mean, from a 3-0 position, you should definitely be able to close it out, and it just hasn't been the case here for Caren Tiger. So, well, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the post-battle stats to get a bit more of an information on how that one went. Okay.
So Hina up the top in that match at 4.4 thousand damage there for him. Simona 2.9k. And overall, look, some big damages coming out from the Gold Bass side. Nothing too telling yet over on the Caren Tiger side. The IS4, you know, doing a little bit of work. So we do see these IS4s come through sometimes. I'm still not a massive fan, to be honest, but. And on the kind of lower half of the scores, I think that should show us that, well, no one got 0 damage at least, so, you know, not the worst. And those FV215Bs, surprisingly low damage on those ones.
Yeah, really. Not quite a good damage stat coming out there from the FV215Bs, but I guess to be fair, they went down pretty early. Those 2 FV215Bs were the 2 first tanks to go down there for Caren Tiger. So. That would be why they didn't do as much damage, perhaps. But again, just was a really good, really well played stuff coming out from Gold Bass. And to be honest, I think I'm going to change my colours a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gold Bass coming out of this one with a victory. Because, well, I mean, look, they've looked so much better in the last few matches, in the last few rounds.
That's true.
They have looked so much better than Caren Tiger. They've been playing well together.
You could sort of see that they were the team who actually did well last season in Korea, you know?
Maybe they're just slow starters.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Could be, just getting used to it again, kind of a little bit rusty on the tanks. Who knows?
Well, I mean, who knows? It could come and cost them later on down the track. I mean, you can't afford to be letting too many losses go because we do know those eliminations coming up in, 5 or 6 weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see how Gold Bass come back from this one. If they do indeed manage to come back, maybe this is a one-off. It's too early to call, but I certainly hope that they're going to be coming in with a bit more of I guess, strength into the next few weeks. And maybe see them come back from the bottom of the pack.
And honestly, if they do come back with strength in the next kind of week or two, then we're going to have an absolutely intense kind of middle of the road fight for all of our middle teams, because all of them look, really like they could beat each other, and all fairly evenly matched around the middle of the kind of ladder, if you will, middle of our standings. So Yeah, that should be pretty interesting.
So, some exciting times now for Gold Bass. They'll be able to get their first point on the board regardless of the result here. If they pick up the win, they get 2. If they lose, they pick up 1. And Caren Tiger, they'll be wanting to close this one out. I mean, they'll be kicking themselves for letting this even get to the tiebreaker, so they'll be thinking, at the very least, we have to pick up that 2 points.
Yep, I think so. So, Caren Tiger, I mean, look, they don't really seem like a team that is too affected by pressure. So, you know, even though like, I don't really feel like they're going to be tilted after losing the last 3-4 in a row. Or 3 in a row. Anyways, after losing so many and kind of drawing this out to the 9th game in the best of 9 series, I feel as though they still should have quite a bit of composure going into this tiebreak and just be thinking, okay, guys, you know, look, we dropped a couple, let's just win it.
Alrighty, well, having a look at the stats from last week on steps for both these teams, I mean, there's not a massive pool to choose from. It was, they've both played it once, so they both played 2 rounds on it. Caren Tiger won both of their rounds on attack and defense, so that's good for them.
Right.
But in theory, from last week, it's the best map for Gold Bass. They did win 1 round. They lost the other one. This is the only round they won last week. So take of that what you will, Alex.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if it's the only round they won, I suppose it depends whether they're on the attack or the defense.
They were on the attack when they won.
So if they're on the attack now, then that could really, you know, it could be pretty confident moving forward. But the only round that they won. And I think Caren Tiger, of course, with that nice win rate as well, you know, making things a little bit tricky for them. But
well, again, it is a pretty small sort of a sample pool, so it's hard to read too much into those.
Exactly.
But it kind of gives you a bit of an indication.
Not going to be basing any research papers off a week of stats.
Not a thesis or anything like that.
No.
We'll just bring it up on stream. That'll be enough.
Yeah, that'll do. Sorry, guys, you don't get the thesis.
Don't worry. By the end of this entire league, I will be able to write a thesis on the statistics that we've compiled.
I'm looking forward to that.
Like, it's going to be insane. Maybe I almost want to release my statistics after, just because I'm so impressed with how the spreadsheet turned out.
In Microsoft Excel.
Excel's the
not
best.
Google Drive.
Excel's the best.
This kid. No. But I feel as though like it is going to be really interesting to see how all of these same statistics develop throughout the season, you know, and we've been doing cool sorts of content like our player profiles and our tank profiles that use these statistics and kind of highlight different tanks and different players as well that kind of have some cool stats surrounding them. So
look, people probably think, oh, statistics, that's really boring, but I don't know, I really get into statistics. I really like them, so maybe that's just me. Anyway, we'll save you from our drivel. We're going on to steps.
We're going on to steps, so we're going to be seeing some big boosts. So actually, this was the map where we had the 800 damage boost?
Yes, that was this map. Alrighty, Caren Tiger on the attack here. So Gold Bass going to be trying to defend this one out to pick up their 2 points.
Okay, and just take a look at Gold Bass right now. They're not looking like they're doing any crazy bursts, so not going to be wanting to deal 800 damage to anyone on their own team at the start of this one. But Caren Tiger, look, going with 3 bat chats and a couple more kind of standard tanks, FE215B or 113 and Object 140. They are just going to be trying for what looks to be a standard 1 flag push right here, Jordan. And Opolis just getting himself on towards just above that little dry riverbed and getting some spots happening.
Yeah, Hypo in a really nice spot here in the 1390. It is somewhat of a dangerous position. Sometimes that bush does get spanned, blind-shotted by the attacking side. But in this case, it seems like Caren Tiger not really in the position to do that. And probably, I mean, I would be surprised to see Caren Tiger doing it from over here. So we'll see if Hypo can play a big part in this one for Gold Bass, because if Caren Tiger try to make their way onto that 1 cap, Hypo in that bush is going to have heaps of free spots.
Yeah, Hypo could certainly be very, very dangerous right here in that bush, but at the moment we are just going to be seeing Caren Tiger kind of sitting at the back, sitting right back at the rail yard. Simona here is sat perfectly to kind of defend and spot out a 2 flag push, so that means that if Caren Tiger do decide to push exactly where Simona is looking from all the way around the back at their spawn, it's going to be there to stop them. But it's looking like Caren Tiger have decided against their 1 flag, their 1 flag idea. Going to be moving back a little bit And Shinozaka getting the reload on that Batchat.
Well, no damage going across just yet, but Caren Tiger backing away maybe from the one cap here.
Okay.
Well, they've decided they want to come back.
Ooh, there you go. So
2 mines. It is a high-pressure situation here for Caren Tiger, so they want to make sure they make the correct decision before they really commit to anything here.
So I think Caren Tiger, they're probably going to be wanting to put Opalisk in the RU-251 up in towards that cap, but at the moment Opalisk is just being used to try and spot out some tanks, and that could be very valuable as well. But at the moment we haven't seen really any damage exchanged from both of these teams. Lots of shots, but no shells actually landed, and actually moving up here. Oh, been spotted, definitely. Could be dangerous.
Yeah, did manage to avoid that shell there, so lucky break for him, and really the only damage to speak of is that little bit of damage to the track there of Jinsheng Bing, which isn't really damage in a sense, it's more just a damaged module, but you know what I mean.
Yep. So I mean that does make it slightly easier to break, I suppose, so a little bit. And Akio V just taking a shot there from, I think, Poltholic. But Akio V actually in that 113 looks to be moving around sort of open ground a little bit at the moment, so some shots ringing out around him. But overall, it's just looking like all that Caren Tiger are trying to do now is to try and get some trades, try and entice Gold Bass out from behind their hill, get them to peek up above it, so that Caren Tiger can unload on them with some big shells.
Polly's going aggressive over the tracks there in towards Hypo. Look at how much damage is going across there. Hypo getting taken down. So Goldbass lose the initial kill. We've seen this a couple times come out for Goldbass, but they've been able to come back a few times as well. Polly is going to get back over the tracks without taking too much damage in response for that one. So a good trade comes out for Caren Tiger. They get that tank advantage. This time, though, they really need to be able to convert that into a victory.
They do, and that is always the trouble, trying to convert it. But right now, Opalisk is going to be getting himself on towards the cap, so Caren Tiger putting some more pressure on towards Goldbass. Now, the issue is Goldbass right now, they're going to be knowing that Batchat of Polly is probably going to be reloading right now, but Goldbass have got their own reloading Batchat in Hina, so they can't really push until that reload has happened. So a few timing issues on the Goldbass side, but it's looking like they are really, really keen to push.
Yeah, it certainly does seem that way, but Goldbass going to have to make their move shortly. You can start to see them making their way towards the track. Are they going to cross, or are they just going to take the duel here? We'll have to wait and see. Darjeeling taking a bit of damage there. And, well, a few of the shots coming out from Caren Tiger's missing here, but a couple more landing. Oh, Poltholic taking a huge chunk of damage there, down by 1,000. Darjeeling taking a little bit as well, and you can see Goldbass making their way back into the safety of that covering hill. I don't really know what they've really achieved with that little push there. They just took a heap of damage, didn't really do much in response.
That was very, very messy. Like, I don't think they had enough eyes. They didn't do enough reconnaissance on those tanks because, of course, Hypo went down, and that when that tier 8 went down, they lost so much vision on the map that they were essentially pushing blind.
Yeah.
They couldn't see the back members of Caren Tiger, and really, they got punished for it. So now they're even further behind. Poltholic is losing it, has lost a driver. Doesn't look like he has a crew.
This is not looking too good at all here for Goldbass. I almost feel like they're not even going to be able to get into position to actually reset this cap at all. Even if Caren Tiger put another player onto that cap circle as well, Goldbass going to find themselves in a really bad position. They're all the way over the other side of the map, and there's only 18 seconds left to go. They're going to have to go through a couple of these players on Caren Tiger, so even if they get the reset, they'll take so much damage in doing it, and for some reason, Caren Tiger fall off that cap. Were they taking damage?
Is it falling off? I'm not too sure, but either way, Yupa is going to be able to take out one member of Goldbass, but yeah, I think they did end up just moving off that cap circle for whatever reason. Maybe
were they taking damage at all? I don't think they were.
I didn't see, but yeah, I certainly don't think they were taking much damage, and they could have tried to just stay on it. But of course, they do actually still have about 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the round. So, you know, they've still got a lot of time to play with it. So what they're going to be doing instead is just getting right back on the cap, putting the pressure right back on Goldbass. And Goldbass with only 4 members left, going up against Caren Tiger's 7 and 20 seconds to reset the cap. This is just getting harder and harder.
Yeah, we're back to the same situation here for Gold Bass. They need to make their way through this massive front line of Caren Tiger if they even want to have a hope of resetting this base. There's only 10 seconds left here. Caren Tiger looking poised to pick up this victory here. And Gold Bass, they're going to make their move now, but I feel it's too late here, Alex. 2 seconds left on the clock, only one, and there you go. That is going to be the victory for Caren Tiger. No, it's not. Yes, it is. I don't know what's going on.
Who knows? Oh, no, it's
It
not
looks
the
like
victory.
they got the reset.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
I mean, might have spoken too soon, but I still feel like Caren Tiger might be able to pick this one up. Jinshan being very low on HP. Simona also getting very low. Pultaholic is going to be very low as well. So we might have got a little bit ahead of ourselves, but it doesn't matter. The result is still going to be the same. Caren Tiger here will be able to pick up the victory. Pultaholic, it's almost a formality at this moment. Only on 435 HP. He's got a damage driver as well. And he's going to have to go up against 6 members of Caren Tiger. So this will be Caren Tiger closing it out. 5 and 4 though. I'm not sure they're going to be too pleased with themselves.
No, not. Look, they really had the opportunity to get the clean win on this one. And when we saw them earlier, you know, where they had, I think, at least one perfect game, potentially on Himmelsdorf, if I recall correctly. But really, they could have driven it home a little bit better, but right now they're still going to be happy with the win. I think 2 points instead of 3. It's not the end of the world.
No.
And here we go, Pultaholic trying his best. Kitty. Oh, he got the consolation prize.
Alrighty, there you have it, guys. 5 and 4 in the favour of Caren Tiger. They'll pick up those 2 points, as you mentioned. 1 point going over to Gold Bass, so they can't be too disappointed.
No.
They at least get a point on the board finally in the second week. So, well, yeah. Good stuff from both teams, but also bad stuff from both teams.
I think that's the best way of putting it, to be honest. There was, started off looking nice and clean, but by the end of the night there,
got a bit messy.
It definitely got a little bit messy, I think. So, the Gold Bass, they're going to be, look, they've got the point at least, so they've got something on the board, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, let's have a look at the replays of that one there on Steps. Was such an exciting matchup for our tiebreaker.
Yeah, there we go. So we can see right here, this was one of the late pushes that Caren Tiger made into Gold Bass's territory just to clear them off, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah, it certainly did. It was a bit of a clean-up in the end there for Caren Tiger. It was... it was almost a foregone conclusion for like 2 minutes of that map. Where it seemed like Caren Tiger, it's just like, well, now we need to wait and see how long it's going to take them to actually win this one.
So very, very tricky for Caren Tiger to come out of that one. Only with a tiebreaker winner, only with 2 points instead of 3. But Gold Bass, you're going to be happy, and they can see this as a kind of first step on their ladder upwards.
I mean, they certainly shouldn't be too disappointed with themselves. Let's go ahead and have a look at the heavy hitters for that one. And it seems like Mudam.
Yep, there we go. It's all Caren Tiger, Jingsheng being in that T1 10E5, actually doing quite a bit of work as well. 1.9 thousand damage with 14 shots fired in that Tier 10 American Heavy.
Yeah, so, wow. Definitely not the stats you want to be seeing in the tiebreaker for the Gold Bass there, but that's how it turned out in the end, and there's not much they can do about it.
Yeah, and Larissa and the bad chat dealing 0 damage. That's painful.
Yeah, they certainly need to, take a bit of a leaf out of that. But then maybe have a bit of a look at the VOD there for that one and think about what we did correctly in this one, because they were able to actually take it to Caren Tiger there, which is not something we've seen them be able to do in their previous 3 matches throughout this tournament. So some good stuff coming out from Gold Bass. Well, not necessarily good stuff, but at least they're making steps forward to being able to perhaps picking up some victories here and returning to their former glory.
Yeah, but you're right. They should be able to take a look at the VOD of that one. Of course, they can check that out at youtube.com/WGAsiaCG, where we've got the VODs for all of our languages that we're broadcasting for the WGL APAC region, of course, being Korea, Japan. We've got our Taiwanese streamers as well, and of course English. So
yeah, that's us.
That's us.
That is us indeed. It's been an interesting day, so let's go ahead and have a look and see how everything went throughout our broadcast. Obviously, the first one started off their run up against Coalition Zoo. TCZ picked that one up without too many issues, and then obviously, well,
Twist and T.
Yeah.
Well, that was a pretty sad story there for Twist, but Team Efficiency, they just looked on point today. So did Horseman, 5-0 against TEGP after a few connection issues that resulted in the forfeit after a 2-0. So.
Well, the one to really talk about, we've already just seen it. I
Yep.
guess that is the Caren Tiger and Gold Bass, and going down to the wire there, Caren Tiger able to pick up the victory. But it was a fantastic day of tanking so far.
It was, yeah, absolutely, and I'm excited to see tomorrow as well. We've got a
Yeah.
few top matches tomorrow in store for everyone, so everyone should make sure that they tune in and catch those ones. But overall, yeah, very happy with. We've seen both sides today, some close matches, some really strong victories. We've seen it all.
Yeah, look, I think it's been a good day so far. Variety is the spice of life, as the saying goes. So nice to see some quick matches, nice to see some really down to the wire matches, and we've seen some aggressive teams, some passive teams. So it's been a bit of a variety bag. The party mix, I suppose, in terms of the lollies.
Yeah, I think so. So speaking of which, I think tomorrow we get the joy to see EL Gaming.
Yeah, once again, I mean, EL Gaming, we saw them 2 times last week, only going to be seeing them 1 time on stream this week. They've already picked up their victory. Their first match that they played this week has been a victory, so they're sitting up on the top of the scoreboard, 3 wins, and obviously looking to pick up their 4th
points. Yeah, 9 points at the top of the scoreboard. The question is going to be, can anyone beat EL Gaming? And I think in the first couple of weeks of the season, I mean, maybe we'll see it tomorrow, but really, I doubt it. I just can't think of a team who's going to be able to top them.
Yeah, well, I mean, of all the teams, I suppose, it doesn't seem like really any of them have much of a chance against EL Gaming, who have been playing spectacularly today. If we go ahead and take a look at the standings, I think that they're going to give us a bit of an indication as to how well EL is going. As we mentioned, they're sitting on the top there, up on the 3 wins, and really no one has been able to challenge them just yet. Horseman just below them with 2 wins and 1 loss. B Gaming as well with 2 wins and 1 loss. So yeah, it's been not a bad day. Oh, actually, well, I lie. Horseman had 3 wins. 2 wins in regular time, 1 win in the overtime. So that's why they're ahead of B Gaming there, who have 2 wins and 1 loss in the tiebreaker. So it does get a bit confusing, but that's looking good there for the Horsemen and obviously EL Gaming as well.
Poor Gold Bass just sitting on the bottom still with only 1 point.
Hey, at least they get a point on the board.
They're going to be staying there. They're on position 12 for another week at least.
Oh, well, maybe next week.
Maybe next week.
As they say.
Who says that?
I don't know. Me, I guess, now. I don't know. I really hope Gold Bass are going to be able to bring something up.
Yeah, look, it would be good to see, because it's just a little bit disappointing to see, a team who did so well last season. Yeah. It's not quite be able to.
I know they've had some roster changes, but
yeah,
EL Gaming has had some roster changes as well, and nothing has changed, right? So maybe the roster changes weren't the best. But
maybe.
I'm not as informed perhaps into the inner team workings of Gold Bass as Gold Bass is, so I'm sure they know exactly what's going on and where they need to make some changes. But let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's games. Obviously, we finished off today, but there's still more coming up tomorrow. So it's going to be an interesting day. I think the big one coming out here at the end of the day is going to be EL and Dark Horse.
Oh, EL and Dark Horse should be a cracker of a match. The 2 teams who are effectively on the top of the ladder leading into this week. And really, we've got some other great matches tomorrow, but I'm just zoning in, honing in on that one, Jordan. That should be a massive game.
Yeah, lots of interesting games actually coming up tomorrow. Basically, TCZ and Efficiency kind of swapping their opponents, Run and Twist. So those will be, I guess, interesting matches to see how those teams match up against each other as well.
Should be. I'm looking forward to all of them.
Certainly am as well. It's going to be a great day. But, well, I guess that's going to be it from us today here in the APAC region. Don't forget, you can, of course, check out our European and Russian streams as well, which will be going on throughout tonight. And obviously, well, wherever you are in the world, maybe the morning or the day, whatever your time zone is. But be sure to check those out there on WGL _RU and, of course, on WGL _EN for our streams as well. But we would look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is when we'll be starting our broadcast. So until then, I wish you a good night and happy tanking.